Good evening, good morning, depending on where you're watching us from. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to this, our favorite show, the TBH Show Sunday. And today I'm your host, Wily Mutwiri, on this favorite show. And it's so amazing to be back. It's so amazing to have such a show again, such a program again. And in our tonight's show, I'm telling you, I have this interesting couple that the last time I hosted, he was so eager to see them back on the show. Many was so much eager to see them back to the show. And so we were them before they had their rings. But currently they can show their rings before I introduce them. And these are so much, they are so much dear to me. I love them. And they've been my favorite people since I knew them. And I'm telling you, where they're about to share some things which are so sweet, which are so good. Some things zenye zitakufanya warakishe kutoka kwa soko. Some things zenye zitafanya feel like soko imeanza kuwa boring. So without further much ado, ladies and gentlemen, oh my, oh my, oh my. Allow me to welcome this favorite couple, Mr. and Mrs. They'll introduce themselves, yeah? Watajiintroduce, watapiga that intro na tujue ni nani ndiye amekuwa Mrs. currently na nani ndio Mr. Wow, karibuni watu wangu. Welcome to the show. Karibuni sana. So before they introduce themselves, allow me to welcome those who are watching us on Facebook, those who are watching us on Savior TV. Karibuni sana sana my people. Na wapenda sana sana. Karibuni to the show this night. Tuandamane hadi tamati. Na ndio nimekuambia kama ulikuwa umekufa moyo na maybe kupata ndoa ama kupata your life partner, I think from the tonight show itakupea matumaini that marriage yako inaweza come soon. Yeah? Marriage yako inaweza come soon. The white wedding, of course, unaweza fanya that wedding na iweze kabisa. So I want also to say a big thank you to the director, Savior TV, Prophet Adonai. May God bless you wherever you are. May God bless you. You have been such a blessing to the TBH family, and we are so much humbled by your support, the support you have given unto us. So without further much ado, mimi nataka tu kusikia wakiongea. Nataka kusikia sauti yako. Usitaki kuongea mengi. Wow, allow me to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Wow, my favorite people from all the way from the United. Hey, sitaki kumwaga mtama. Maybe watajiintroduce zaidi, watuambia wameland lini. Yeah, siku hizi ni watu wa mandege tu, yeah. Kuland tu, wow. Karibuni sana. Wow, let me start with the man, of course, the head of the family. Karibu sana, Mr. Introduce yourself, tuambie wewe ni nani, umetokea wapi, and what do you do? Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Allow me first and foremost say I'm very grateful to be part and parcel of Savior TV, and more so the TBS, which has always been a great show for all of us. My name is Owens Kennedy. Born again, love the Lord at my personal Savior.
Yes.
And the last time, as our host, Mr. Mutwiri, said, we were spinter and bachelor. But for now, as you can be able to see, the Lord has really taken us through a journey.
Wow.
And we are really grateful.
Nasimu karibiana unajua kitu ule. By the way, uliambiwa church, askai 1 meter away. Askai 1 meter away.
Asonge karibu.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Allow me first and foremost to introduce my lovely, amazing woman of God here.
Oh my God.
And she has always been a journey together.
Wow.
And as always said, the ladies first. Allow me give her opportunity.
Oh my God.
She can be able to introduce herself as well. Thank you.
Wow.
Karibu sana, babe.
Hey, karibu sana, Miss Beautiful.
Okay, thank you. It's an honor, Mr. Willie, to be here again. The last time we were here, as you have been told that we were spinter and couple, happily married. We are glad. We give God glory and honor. I'm Miss Owen Kennedy.
Oh, wow. Hey.
The Ella now is gone. I'm Mrs.
Wow.
Owens Kennedy.
I love that.
Yes,
Wow.
it's pleasure.
Karibu sana. So kuna watu wanajing'ang'ana sana kujua hiyo spinter bachelor ni nini. Kindly, ebu waambie hiyo.
Yes, yeah. Before that, it was actually a journey of courtship, right?
Yeah.
And when somebody is called a spinter, is a lady that is yet to get married, right? In other words, it was actually our first time being together.
Wow.
And it actually took a journey in terms of courtship,
Yeah.
and until the time of marriage.
Wow.
And when the time of marriage actually comes, during that process, the name given to the lady who is almost getting married, who has never stayed with no man, is actually called the spinter. And a bachelor is a man that for sure has been alone, and for sure has really seen somebody. And in that process, it actually being called the spinter and the bachelor.
Wow.
Thank
Hey.
you.
Sa watu wetu wa Kenya, I think mnaona this thing. Unajua wasikii kizungu sana.
Okay.
Watu wetu wa Kenya, usiite lady bachelor. Wale wamezoea kuita lady bachelor. Tafadhali. Let's learn from outside. Wow, karibu sana because okay, wacha tusaidiane watu wengi kutoana ushamba. A lady ni spinter, mwanaume ni bachelor. Si bachelor. Hey. Wow, hiyo ni kali. Wow, karibu sana to the show. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
And I really thank God because by me being here,
Yes.
He has taken the hand of God for us to be here.
Sure.
And I really don't take it for granted. Rather, I give it back unto Him.
Yes.
Because He is the one, is the reason for our living.
Wow.
So for me, I'm doing very great.
Yeah.
And as a family now, we are more than humble
Wow.
to be here tonight.
Amazing.
So,
Hey. Ella alikuwa anasema hata umeanza kupata six pack. Yaani kuna that nguvu ubachelor ukitoka kuna hiyo nguvu mtu. Wow, but we are yet to hear about that shortly. So from our viewers, our topic today is it's all about the roses and thorns of marriage. Rose and thorns of marriage, and you are yet to hear the rose part and the thorny part, because okay, somebody said that marriage is not a bed of only roses. Kuna miba my friend, and they are yet to tell us kama hiyo miba imeanza kuwadunga, because the short time maybe wame spend kwa marriage, maybe kuna vitu wameona, na maybe hata kwa wakiwa kwa courtship kuna zile vitu walikuwa na experience kinda zile kwa zina preview for what is coming next in their marriage life. But we are yet to hear that. But before that, we are yet to hear about this exciting wedding, because baba, watu walisema mulipiga akodhe kompe. Mulipiga akodhe kompe. Watu walisema ba. That was tremendous. Niliambia watu vile nimeishi kwenda harusi. Harusi paka inatumia the chariot of Elijah. Sijaiona. Wow, that was amazing. So can you maybe shortly share us about that experience, about how was the whole experience, how was the whole planning? Did you think that you'll have such a dream wedding? Ama in your mind kulikuwa na nini? Ama huku umepata that clear pictures that vitu zitakuja hivyo vile zili happen? Okay, according to you, did you have this wedding maybe back in your mind, ama vitu tu zilijipanga?
First and foremost, everything is planned for.
Yeah.
So for me, I can actually tell you that it's been a journey. And everything that you saw happen, or the wedding that you saw, is something that was already been planned. Because before a house is built, you need to have what is called a blueprint.
Wow.
And that blueprint is all the plan.
Yes.
And as for me, I think because I'm somebody who believes in prior planning.
Yes.
You plan, so that you can be able to know what is expected of you at the end of it all.
Yes.
So back way in 2019,
Uh-huh.
that's the time that I wrote all my plans down.
Wow.
Everything.
2019.
2019.
Eish.
So everything was well articulated in terms of written. In other words, I wrote everything down from A to Z.
Mhm.
So I was just following the plan through. But nevertheless, I knew, because I remember I've attended so many weddings.
Yes.
I've been part and parcel of the planning of those weddings.
Mhm.
And there's one thing that I said, I would actually want my wedding to be in such a manner.
Yes.
So the best thing that really made me to do so is to be able to write everything down, which I wrote everything down. That is down in 2019,
Mhm.
December,
Hey.
if I'm not wrong.
Hey.
And everything was written down. So I was actually just following through my plans.
So by that time ulikuwa na mrembo ama ulikuwa tu by that
Mrembo was nowhere to be seen. I was just doing it at a personal level. And I wrote everything down, and I used to speak to the words that I wrote down.
Yes.
I used to pray over them, saying, God, this is what I want,
Uh-huh.
and this is exactly what I need.
Yes.
Provision comes from you.
Uh-huh.
So I began planning 2019 in
Yes.
terms of writing.
Uh-huh.
I wrote everything down, and remember, there was nobody.
Mhm.
She came later on,
Yes.
almost 2 or 3 years later.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah. So you can just imagine. And I followed through to my word, everything which was written down.
Yes.
When she came on board, I think we shared together,
Mhm.
and it was like, wow, you mean everything you have already written down?
Uh-huh.
And okay, what do you have the money? I mean, where are the resources? And I
Uh-huh.
told her, because it was actually written down, God will provide the resources.
Okay.
And
Okay. What are those key things zenye ulikuwa umeandika and kind?
Oh.
Mtu wa kawaida akiangalia hata yeye ukimwonyesha hiyo plan atakwambia we umechizi bro.
there is nothing which was actually left untouched. Everything from dowry, number 1,
Dawari ulikuwa umepiga
spiritual and biological. That is first and foremost thing that is written, I wrote down. Then secondly, I wrote all the necessities in terms of what do I really need. That is, what people will actually be in my wedding, what do I need, who will be able to do my event. Then after that, I wrote who will be the person that will take care of the event. I mean, in terms of who will be running up and down, what are the type of cars that we'll be able to use. Then from there, everything was well articulated until where will my wedding be? Which day? Remember, the day actually I wrote the date too.
What?
So everything was well articulated. I was just looking forward for the D-Day.
So-
Remember, the lady was not on board, but everything was already planned for.
What? So
Yes.
so kwa hiyo list, in that list, okay, ulikuwa estimate dowry price kama pesa ngapi hivi?
Not necessarily in terms of pricing, but as a man, it is something that is very important, because it also shows a lot of honor, because nobody comes nowhere. I mean,
sure.
she's actually a lady that will get married is attached,
Yeah.
and she has parents. The first and foremost important thing that parents ought to be honored.
Yeah,
Even
sure.
you as a man, you feel proud when you know you have already met the parents.
Yes.
And of course, it's something that in our culture is something which is done both biblically and traditionally.
Yeah.
So that is something which was actually key to me, and also depends with the people that we are getting married from.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you'll be able to not dowry payment is the same like in all culture. She doesn't actually come from my tribe, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you present yourself as a man, you say, for sure, I've seen a flower in your garden. And a flower is always good and sweet in terms of smell or aroma. So at the end of it all, you have to be there, you have to go and tell, so that you can be able to be given opportunity in terms of going ahead with whatever plans you have.
Wow.
So having said that, I went home, gone home, and I told the father, there's a flower that I've seen around.
Yes.
And I would actually want to to be part and parcel in terms of taking care of this flower. Would you kindly give him the opportunity to do so?
Yes.
He said, I have so many flowers around.
Uh-huh.
I don't know which one is which.
Uh-huh.
And as usual, you get paraded.
Okay,
And
okay.
Yes?
Okay, before we get there, I'm here. I want to get it right when it comes in this part of the list. So, maybe did you have a specific estimate, a rough estimate of the budget that you would like to spend on that wedding?
Oh, to be sincere, I didn't actually have like an estimate.
Yes.
Because the journey was a bit long. So I keep on changing every time. Whenever we are actually continuing the journey,
Yes.
I used to do a rewrite. So I do an editing. Every day I do editing from the list that I had.
Yes.
And having said that, because everything changes, what you saw yesterday might not actually be the same thing that you're going to see tomorrow or
Yes.
today. Everything changes. So I used to actually update my list every now and then until the D-Day.
Okay.
So because you realize you can actually say that I would actually want to have a wedding of 10,000 shillings,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Based on that, based on the environment, based on the circumstances. But
Yeah.
there was actually variance in some of changes,
Sure.
which you realize the wedding that somebody did 2 years ago or 3 years ago is
Yes.
totally different to what somebody is doing today.
Very
Remember, the world also is revolving.
Yeah,
Everything, some new things comes.
Very
so
true.
you change with the changes.
Yeah.
When the change comes also, you align yourself with the change so that you can be able to relevant at that particular given time.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Miss Owen, allow me to call you Miss Owen. Miss Owen Kennedy. So, when Owen showed you the list, your list, after I could pay your list, okay, what came in your mind first? Hiyo vile dream wedding yenu itakuwa sijui. Okay, ulikuwa na ile imani yenye hii vitu inaweza waka kama kulikuwa na ile doubt? Funguka tu leo.
Thank you. When I first Miss Owens, the first time, yeah, she was kinda serious.
Yeah.
She was kinda, and because the first approach, she told me, I don't need a girlfriend, I need a wife. So, if you are ready to leave all other things, all other men, it's okay. And if you still need the pleasures of this world, it's okay, you can tell me so that I can make my decision. So, the first time we met, in my mind, I know I'm becoming a wife, not a girlfriend, because I had given him a chance and I had accepted him to move with him. So, as we were in the moment of dating, mingling, sharing stories, and I was like, this now is a real man. Is somebody I've never met. I've been meeting boys, I've been dating boys who are not serious, they just want to push time, they're just looking to pleasures of this world. But this one had some knowledge, wisdom. Like, paka ngine nilikuwa namwambia, so just mentor. Like, I want him to be my mentor. So, I didn't know that mentorship, like, inaleta sasa hiyo closeness. So, the way he talked, advised me, like, alikuwa anatoka about the future, not the present time. Everything is about future, is about how he thinks well of me. Like, sikuwa ni my onyesho na unaona, like, ukienda to meet the boy and put with the current things and everything, like, anataka tu mtu the pleasures, now thinking about the pleasure. So, as we were dating, so I think it was hotel fulani hapo Magis. So, nilikuwa saa 3 ya usiku.
Yes.
Kanambia, I have a gift for you. And with gift? Kanambia, I have a gift for you. Just listen to me. So, as we were talking, we had supper, we ate. Then he opened the phone. Akafungua simu. Alipofungua simu, akaniambia, I want you to go through all this and tell me what is on your mind. So, mimi nikaperuzi, kila kitu ameanza na hiyo tu venye hata amesema tu dawari, ndio hiyo wedding. Ameweka, kila kitu ameweka, amepanga amepaka kila kitu, wasichana ambao watakuwa kwa line, men and line up, nani atakuwa matron, everything. So ameandaa kila kitu. So I was so amazed. Hey, this is an opportunity, I can't lose it. My mother alikuwa na wish like hey, kwa hii familia I want a girl. Wakati tusimu tuwafanya harusi. Because we are 5 girls. So mamangu alikuwa desire yake like nataka mtu mwenye atafanya harusi. Lakini pia naangalia nasema sijamaliza shule. Akinionyesha so sijamaliza shule, how will I approach my parents? But he kept on encouraging me.
Yeah.
Akaniambia that doesn't matter. Kama ni school fees nitakulipia. Kama ni nini, like encouraging me to.
Yeah.
Like alikuwa na some wisdom sijui.
So na Saila alikwambia kinda niko na gift yako. Okay, what kind of a gift ulikuwa na expect maybe?
Mimi nilikuwa na expect ni gift za kawaida, like chocolate. Like is it maybe amenunua ka dress au amenunua nini. So mimi nilikuwa nafikiria hapa. Kumbe yeye anafikiria the future. So I didn't expect such from him in the way. Because ilikuwa tuna date too, and like he has never told me that, but at least alikuwa na zile a bit of pictures, so alikuwa anaonyesha vitu.
Yes.
The future like sikuwa na expect. So venye alinionyesha, I took it positive, but nikamwambia give me time kiasi tu. Yeah. I have mkutano for myself. So nikasema yes, me pia nilikuwa nataka boy. Unajua hizi heartbreak, sometimes you go through heartbreaks, you get a person, find a man is not serious. Maybe you are serious, he's not serious. Maybe you are a girl from church, a woman who loves God, unapata yeye from the pleasures of the world. But for him, ni mtu Mungu na yeye, you can't compromise.
Yeah.
God. Alafu ni mtu alikuwa straightforward. Unaona? Anakuambia ni hii ndio tunaenda na ni hii. Ni hii nataka tufanye, na that is what we do. Unaona? Nakwambia Ella, I want you to leave this one. If you don't leave, anakuzia. So, he will remind you 3 times. Remind you 3 times, I want you, Ella, I want you to go this way. I don't want you to go this. So, hiyo encouragement na wisdom that alikuwa ananijua, but then he made me so courageous. Mimi nikungana mtu shy, singeweza hata ongea hivi. I was so shy.
Okay. Before to kuja hapo, because we are coming to that part. Yeah, vile shyness iliondolewa. Okay, Mr. So, umesema ulikuwa na list ya dream wedding. Did you have a separate list of your dream girl? Na maybe ulikuwa na hizo, ulikuwa umeandika hizo characteristic chini, hivi ndivyo nataka mtu anakaa? Did you have such?
I did actually have such, but I knew what I wanted. Because one thing that I want to tell you, Sir William, is you know, if you have a list, you judge that list against yourself. Because you cannot say, I want a woman who looks like A, B, C, and D. You have your list A, B, C, and D written down, and yet you are the opposite of what you want. It doesn't actually work that way.
Wow.
God does not actually have what is called a spare part. If you have wasted your life outside there, and now you want to think that God will be able to give you somebody who is whatever you want, let me tell you, it will be a no for you. It will be really a disappointment, because you can't actually relate with what you are not. You can't give what you doesn't have. You can only be able to give that which you already have. In other words, you build your capacity. You say, God, I want to maintain me at that particular level. And the person that God gives you is exactly what you requested for. Number 2, a woman is not somebody that you actually write down all the characteristics that you want in a woman. No, a woman is like a raw material. And you know, a raw material is something that ought to go through what is called the process.
Yes.
If he has gone through the process, the product is now what you call a woman. Because a woman is like a raw material. It's like let me give an example. It's a log of wood.
Yes.
If you have a log of wood, what do you do with a log of wood? A log of wood can be changed to like this nice seat you see here. It's also a type of a raw material which has been translated to the finished product. And that is a woman. You actually make what you want out of the raw material, who happens to be a woman. And that is what you've sent yourself with. It's just that simple. So you can't actually come with the whole entire list from number 1 to number 10. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so speaking of raw material,
yes,
was she raw in a design like alikuwa very raw ile design kinda ulikuwa unafikiria maybe unaweza take time mingi ya kumchonga, ama ni nini utaangalia na uone huu ni raw material mwenye nitachonga na akuje vile nataka? Are there some materials zenye uwezi chonga na zikuje vile unataka?
It all depends with you as a man.
Yes.
Because as a man, you know the desires you want.
Yes.
Which is very true, right? Or first and foremost, kuna key things that you ought to look into, which is also I'm going to talk about. Number one, now just in terms of mentioning.
Yes.
Character is key. Character is key. Because a character reveals who a person is.
Yes.
The same thing that a character is something that will reveal who a person is. Number one, if somebody is character in terms of how somebody carries him or herself,
yes,
that is very important. You will be able to know. Number two, how do this person, or rather the person that you want to have in your life, how do they wield it, what is called actually resources? Because resources also is a key thing when it comes to life.
Yes.
In other words, I'll give an example. You know, there are people whom you give them like 10 shillings. What they think of is a mandazi and that is gone.
Yeah.
There's somebody who is actually business oriented or entrepreneurship oriented.
Yeah.
You give them money and what they think for is how can I be able to multiply this amount that I've been given?
Yes.
Number three, how do these people relate with their parents? You can actually tell, right? Number four, how do these people carry themselves? Do we actually have somebody that are attached to in terms of mentorship? Right?
Yes.
And maybe the last thing that I want to talk about is these people, because you can't actually tell me that we can meet today and you'll be able to, somebody tells you, I'm born again, you know.
Yes.
Born again is good. Everybody can actually say that I'm born again.
True.
But you know, when you sit with somebody for like the time that you have sat here, you can be able to tell whether this person is born again or not.
Yeah.
Because again, getting born again is personal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only between you and your God.
Sure.
So for me, those are the few things that I can actually be able to do what?
Yes.
Outline. Right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it still actually gets back to the person. People can be made to be what they would actually want to be. But let me tell you, it's actually a change that comes within.
Yes.
You can't change nobody. Change is deliberate. You purpose. You say that for me, this is how I want actually to live. And
Yes.
exactly that's the thing. Because at the end of the day, also they would actually want somebody that will be able to do what? To relate to whatever thing that you want in your life.
Wow. Hey, amazing. Wow. To our dear viewers who are watching us on Facebook, mnaona mambo inaendelea kuchemka pole pole. Mnasikia mambo inachemka pole pole. And you are here to hear more and more and more from Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy. And I'm telling you that those who are watching us on Facebook, continue sharing this program, continue sharing. Our link is there. You can continue to share as much as possible. Unaweza endelea kushare kwa groups za WhatsApp, kwa Facebook. Kindly click the share button na usaidie kushare more so that watu wasikie about hii harusi ya Kibombe. Harusi yani, harusi yenye mimi natamani pia. By then tamtafuta anipe hiyo line ya yote. Mungu anajua kwa nini alinitangulia. Wow. So those who are watching us on Savior TV, endeleeni kutuma maoni yenu na tutayaona na kuyasoma hapa. Wow. So before nikuje kwa Ella. So maybe Mr. Owen, are you ready maybe to share this wedding yako? Will you spend roughly how much? Roughly how much? Well, maybe you might not say the exact amount. Yeah. Ile tunasemanga bila maringo, jinsi ambavyo Mungu alitubariki. This is the amount we spent on our wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. You know, when in terms of mentioning how much has been spent on such a wedding,
Yes.
it depends with the type of wedding you want. So whenever even I do the mentioning of how much we do really spend on our wedding, remember, kukopa harusi ni kufanya nini? Kulipa matanga. Si ni kweli?
Yeah.
So don't actually see that for Owens did this. Mimi nilishajipanga.
Yeah.
From down 2019 until 2023.
Yes.
So you can just imagine how long is that. So because it all depends with what you want, remember that is what I told you. You can also do a wedding of 10,000 by the way. It's not about how much you spend.
So hii ya Owen ilitumia roughly pesa ngapi hivi?
Let me just say that past $500,000. Yes.
Wow.
Past $500,000. Yeah.
And so hizi vitu zote are there friends who came through to maybe to do some parts? How exactly did you plan, because ulisema that kuna vitu unaendanga ukichange due to the vile season inaenda based on because watu wengi walikuwa wameona wedding yako there, so na waliona the photocopy of the exact chenye kilikuwa kwa wedding yako there in your wedding. Okay, how did it happen?
Because I was really busy during that time planning, running up and down, working at the same time. I only came to realize a week later that kumbe Akode also, we are also like the same class with Akode. But to be sincere, I didn't actually know that Akode also did the same thing. Because for me, remember I told you I had already planned of what I wanted, rather what I would actually want to see. For information, some of the things were actually a surprise to her. She didn't actually know nothing until the D-Day.
Wow.
So some of the things I made at a personal level, not even people knew what I was actually planning. But for me, I knew what actually was looking for. So at the end of the day, because some of the things like the issue of the chariot and name it all, I kept it as a surprise for her. And she knew nothing about it. I can actually tell you. Not only that, so many things. As we are actually journeying along in terms of the conversation, we'll be able to notify you. But by then, because it's something that already knew, I didn't actually know that Akode also did almost the same thing that we did.
Yeah.
Remember, as I told you, I already planned prior to, because I knew what I wanted. And as you have asked in terms of friendship, let me tell you, friendship is good. Imagine relationship is good. Any other added advantage in our lives is as a result of a relationship.
Yeah.
Relationship comes from two words, relate and ship. Ship is a cargo carrier.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You will only be able to introduce to the ship in relationship that you have. In other words, you relate with the ship based on the introduction.
True.
You can only be able to relate with the ship based on the cargo there in the ship. Right?
Yeah.
So a ship goes as far as Asian, all through.
Yeah.
And when the ship docks, you will only be able to go where the ship is when you know you have a cargo in that ship.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So you'll only be able to talk to a friend knowing that this is for sure a friend that for sure really understand who I am. And remember, you cannot actually relate with people based on what you want from them.
Sure.
Create what is called a relationship, and people will be able to be a blessing in your life.
Yeah.
Because when you relate with somebody based on what you want out of them, then you'll be able, let me tell you, it's a mess. You cannot actually relate with people in that form. You relate with the people, make it actually a relationship.
Yeah.
Not based on what you want from them, but make it genuine.
Okay.
I can be able to tell you that the so-called people that I expected that will be able to come through for me in terms of friendship, they were nowhere to be seen. You get it?
Yeah.
They were for sure nowhere to be seen. The so-called, when you are doing something, sema kwamba, najua mheshimiwa so and so, I know Wily Mutwiri, will be able to come through.
Yeah.
Don't actually put your expectation on people. Because when people fail you, believe you me, you lose your mind. And it's not actually ought to be so. You ought to put your full focus. When people come, say thank you. When they don't, continue saying thank you.
Wow.
Because nobody's obliged to come through for you.
Wow.
Nobody's actually, how do I put it? Nobody, you are nobody's priority, by the way. You are nobody's priority.
Very true.
You are nobody's priority. So you don't actually put all your thinking that so-and-so is there to help you. But plan. God has a way of doing what? Of compensating. Let me tell you, what really made me through in terms of that, because even me, some of the things I never expected. But through the service, I serve genuinely in where I do in terms of fellowship. I work hard.
Yeah.
Because service, working hard, God says that I'll be able to bless the work of your hands.
True.
And I really believe that God really just saw it through, that He's gonna come through for me at a personal level. And God really showed me that honor. And I really want to say thank you to God.
Wow.
And for the people that He used
Wow.
to help me come throughout the journey.
Ebu waambie wape shout out wenye hujaipata chance, wape shout out kidogo.
First and foremost, let me tell you people, it's not about individualism. Everything that you do is a seed. Be in terms of talk, be it in terms of practicality, it's a seed. You cannot actually plant a seed of beans and expect an harvest of maize. It all goes through your journey in terms of service. So be faithful, be patient, because at the end of the day, it's only what you have actually put yourself in terms of that long journey that you'll be able to materialize. So whatever you do, just focus, do it diligently, and be able to know that it's all about the sacrifice that you offer today that you'll be able to pay you tomorrow. Thank you.
So Ella, uliona maybe kwa ya harusi and you are kind wa siamini huyu ni mzee yangu amefanya hii mambo. Kuna zile vitu uliona ni mtu maybe ako wash chini ya maji, aliingia wash na asemi. Okay, what are some of the things that you uliona and they were kind so much surprising to you?
Thank you. Actually, on my wedding day, I didn't expect it to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
The way I left my man, he was zero. He was zero kabisa. Like the way I left him, because I remember nilitoka LD tatu, nikafika nyumbani saa 6. There was still traveling.
On the day.
Yeah, he was still running here and there, trying things. So on my wedding day, nikitoka nyumbani, by the way, because usiku, yani nilikuwa tuna pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, pia vitu zilikuwa kama kabisa.
Yeah.
So nikakuja church. The church was so colorful. It was so beautiful. Nilikuwa nimebeba ndani.
Yes.
I used 2 cars. TX. Tukafika LD, they changed. Nikapa Discovery. Yeah. It was a very nice car, a very comfortable car, which I didn't expect it because that evening, the 14th,
Yes.
there were no cars. Yeah, we had a few cars, and also the one that we thought that will carry us, I was discouraged by my team that the lady who I'm kangi mapema, so that I might be disappointed if I take the lady. Yeah, so that was also a surprise to me. At least I sat in a good car, a very comfortable car, a very expensive car that I didn't expect. Then
so kuna ile mshtuko, okay, ulimwacha in the D-Day, before the D-Day. Ulimwacha akiwa zero. Hakuwa na heni, mpaka ulikuwa unashangaa plans zitakuwaje. Okay.
Yeah. Nilikuwa na give up, nikamwambia, baby, don't give up. The people you expect you to assist you will not. God will bring an angel from nowhere. Come here to just stand strong. So that is the time his parents have already arrived in Eldoret. Even the transport, the means of transport for me to go home, haikuwa. Hatuko tunajua nitapitia gari gani. Na ni usiku, my parents they are calling, asking that mtoto wetu ako wapi. Sasa hii bride anafaa kuwa amelala, amepumzika. But unaona sasa hii siwezi mwambia kitu. Hajanunua viatu zake, was in a mess. Everything was in a mess. So